Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed your coffee. May I request all of you to please be seated so we can proceed with the other speakers. So, our next speaker is Mr. Alok Purohit. And Mr. Alok Purohit has a diverse work experience history. He started his career in 2000 as a senior manager of information systems at Camtech Associates Private Limited, where they provided consultancy services in the field of information system products and services. Then later in 2004, he joined RGBSi. He left it and then he again rejoined it. And in RGBSi, it's a group company where they manage end-to-end operations related to human capital management. He then returned to RGBSi and held several senior positions, including Vice President of Operations, Director of Operations, and Senior Director of Operations for APIC. Currently, he's the Managing Director of RGBSi, and he's looking into the quality management solutions related to IoT, Industry 4.0 solutions, new product development, and all the aspects related to AI. And he's inculcating it well with the sustainability and ESG solutions. And he has got the intensive experience in managing the global teams, finance, strategy, business development, engineering, and IT. So his diverse experience and his valuable insights today is going to help us learn more about his experience and how he has transformed himself from the IT to one of the key sustainable person in the company he is working for. Please give him a big round of applause and let's welcome Mr. Alok.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. Am I audible? Thank you. So fun factual correction, LinkedIn has messed up. So I've never left RGBSi. This is my 21st year, so this is a continuous journey. Let me tell you why and what we are going to do here is, I will be basically saying that first, we don't need to do any reporting. And that's a contrarian view, and I will come and give you the reason for that. Because if I go and see next slides, there has been more reporting and equally more emissions. So reporting is really not helping. And that's the reason what I want to add here from the very generic point of view is that we need to take some actions beyond reporting. And that is the whole theme of my presentation will be. About us, we are an American company. We are based out of Troy, Michigan. I'm coming from India. I am heading the India operations from last 21 years. And we are into sustainability, metal compliance from last 25 years. ESG is a new buzzword, so we definitely don't want to miss the bandwagon, and we are here. But we have been doing from the metal compliance point of view, we have been doing sustainability audits, and this is not new field for us. What has happened is that we all here, including myself, are here to do more around ESG and sustainability, to get more businesses around it. But not everybody is looking at the core fundamental around it, that what we need to bring on the table. I was meeting one senior vice president of a large automotive OEM in India yesterday, not even 24 hours passed away. And I was showing about our platform, that we have so many things. And the one fundamental thing he immediately told, Alok, reporting is just 1% for me. My 98% emissions come from scope 3. How do I meet it? Because neither I own them, neither I control them. And reporting is not helping. It's just 1%. And that is where I basically want to prepare and give some insightful view that the reason of us not to report is also not the solution. And Sustainability, as in the morning session, Majid mentioned that it is all about how we use the current resources without affecting and depleting for the future needs. So going to the next slide, please. And I will not repeat this definition, everybody knows it. I will go to the next slide, in fact, in the interest of time. Now, this is where the real problem is. The sustainability or climate change is a wicked problem. And I was not knowing till few months back that wicked is not a literal meaning of wicked, but wicked problem is a scientific term, which means that generally there is no solution. You find one solution and you create another problem. To give an example, we are seeing what is happening in, for example, a lot of COPs have happened. Last year, around same time, there was a COP28 in Dubai. We just finished Azerbaijan COP29, and we will be doing again in Brazil next year. How is it helping? It is only creating a good media, good press, but it's not bringing the action on the time or the table. And one of the major reason is that it is a wicked problem. You say that, okay, I want to reduce my carbon footprint, and we say, okay, we will shut down all my coal-based plants, all my thermal plants. The problem comes, then where will the energy come from? So you solve one problem and you create another problem is what wicked problem is. So the whole idea of we coming into picture, all of us include, is to give a little more thinking and see which is more better and which is more worse when we think about choices which is at hand with us. And that is where we want to be very careful that when we are talking about interests, priorities, challenges, policies, they are not aligned together. At the end of the day, unless until we as a global citizens of this planet align, we will not able to achieve something because one part will create another part because the climate change, unfortunately, is not within the boundaries of geographical borders. It is everywhere, and it don't require any visa to enter the country. You do global warming, you burn some fuel in some part of the world, it may give effect somewhere in Japan, somewhere in India, somewhere in UAE, somewhere in Saudi Arabia. So that is where the biggest challenge comes, that how do you solve this wicked problem? And I really honestly do not have any solution to wicked problem, but I only have a solution to start thinking towards action items and not just reporting. So if you go to the next slide, please. And I always say that there has been no climate change. It is humans who have changed. All of us. All of us have our own challenges that, okay, I want to have this, I want to have that, and that's the major challenge, that unless until we bring that education, the way we learned how to educate in the modern universities, not environment as an optional subject, but as a core fundamental subject where the sustainabilities are taught so that the next generation is knowing that we have to respect the nature. That is missing right now. I still will have 2 automotives. I will still not use public transport. I will still fear to avoid walking, for example, 2 kilometers extra to catch a public transport. Now, unless until that will stop, and this may look like a very social aspect of it, but in heart and heart, we have to believe that this is the only solution. We cannot come out of it unless until we do a great lecture here, a great meeting, great media coverage, great panel discussion, great software, but we go back and run the air conditioning full swing, even when I'm not there. I start my car when it is in the parking lot so that it cools down and I will enter in this piece of my air. That has to change. Next, please. And there are the reporting limitations, and I'm not against reporting myself, but what I want to say here is that we have to go beyond reporting. Reporting is having a limitation from the simple thing that it is a compliance or a commitment. most of the time it is a compliance because a particular regulatory body is asking for me to report, I need to do that. Because my customer is asking me to report, I need to do that. But there is no solution that, okay, can I do something real action on the ground? Reporting is helping because it is bringing few things out. It is giving you an idea that, okay, I have to change this part. I need to fix some of the things which probably is hidden under the carpet. That way reporting is definitely helping because that's what they say, that unless until you measure something or you disclose something, you cannot correct it. However, the correction is not going beyond just the reporting year on, year on. So that is where I urge everybody in this room who are influencing, who are contributing to some initiatives, go beyond just reporting. Take control as a sustainability, I would say, warriors. Please take it forward that rather than just doing reporting, if you are in a banking industry, do away with the paper. Now, how will you do away paper? Everybody wants. Take away the printers itself. Don't put printers anywhere. You can do a lot of changes. So that is where some actions will happen. Next slide. Now, these are some of the reporting, beyond reporting things, which all of you know. I don't want to explain any of them. But the idea of this is here is that these are not just these 11 categories. There can be 1,100 categories right from starting from our home. And many of them are being adopted by many of the people around the world. And the only thing is that we are not doing more actions in many of these areas. When we talk about, for example, renewable energy and offsite, we always come back to, okay, can I buy an offset? And can I get how do I avoid greenwashing? How do I avoid the ideas around, for example, sustainable livestock or grassland? Now, many of these things are not applicable to all the industry. Yeah, thank you. So this is where we need to also see that beyond these 11, what can we do? And how many of these can be applied right here? When we talk about recycling, and I will share one of the examples that I was interacting with one of the customers. It's a global customer, and they came to me and they say, what solutions do you have for upcycling? And honestly, I was not knowing what is upcycling. I heard about recycling, I heard about circularity, but I have no idea about upcycling. And I asked that, sir, I don't know. And they told that upcycling means that when you're generating a output or a waste, how do I utilize that waste as a raw material to create something new for the next product? And that is so useful thing because a lot of chemical industry generate chemical waste which can be used in a lot of, for example, manufacturing like batteries, like other medicines, but we just basically dump it today. We don't use it. So there's a lot of lack of knowledge as well when we look at overall view of things. Please, next slide. Now, this is how we complicate the things. This is a LinkedIn image, not my image. The proper credit is being given here. But this is a typical carbon capture and storage device, which will cost probably millions of dollars. And we all want to go to global, they call it global east or global south or global west to get funding. There was a lot of UN cry that we only got 300 billion instead of 1 trillion in Baku. That's a commitment which was expected. Now, why we are depending on those funds is because somebody want to go here, which cost millions. People are not going here, which will cost much less. Just grow the tree. Make it happen. When we can get countries like Israel can generate a lot of water, country like UAE can create such a fantastic infrastructure, there can be also the trees. We are not doing that. Let's go 200 years back, or even 100 years back, there was no refrigerations, there was no air conditioning. There were still people thriving in the same 40, 45 degrees Celsius temperature, and they were very happy. Nobody was dying because of the heat stroke, because there was something fundamentally they were doing correct, which we have lost, and that lost knowledge has to come back to really create a sustainability. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah, so these are the fundamental back to basic I was talking about, that nature-based solutions, greed, I already hinted, and I'm also included. I'm not excluding myself, so I'm not holy grail here that I'm not. I also have my greeds, and I also have to change myself. How do I change that? How do I create, reduce, reuse, recycle? Everybody talks about it, but it is not really implemented in the action. I see right on this sustainability event and ESG event, we have a lot of plastic bottles. Where they will go, nobody knows. That's an irony. I was thinking, should I open my bottle or not? I have not yet opened. That's not my glass. Can I implement that? My kids come and ask me that, Dad, you just started sustainability 3 years back and now you're implementing everything at home. They want to buy another shampoo bottle. I say, why do you need it? One is already there in the bathroom. We are not doing that. We start doing it, it will automatically make things better. These are the two perspectives. Many of you will know about them, and these are very different perspectives. I will complete in 2 minutes more. One is a documentary by Al Gore, An Inconvenient Truth. Many of you would have watched it, seen it. It got a Nobel Prize Award as well. And it talks about very devastating, inconvenient truth, as they call it. They are showing that the mountains which were traditionally covered with snow has melted and become completely arid. Or somewhere which is green cover is completely finished. And that is the idea of that particular documentary or docufilm, was to give an insightful action that this is serious, guys, fix it. And which is very good. Now, there was another documentary which was in 2021 on Netflix, which is The Year Earth Changed. It's a very interesting document. It's still available on Netflix, you can see. And I'm not promoting any one of them. None of them have given me any money, so please don't come to me for extra share. But I'm just telling you that in this document, the change where there is a clear indication that during the COVID-19 shutdown, how the environment and the plantation and nature flourished. Just matter of 9 months. Just like a baby get created in 9 months, like my Mother Earth created new solutions in those 9 months of gestation of lockdown. That's a reality. And with the proven evidences here. So that is where I want each one of you to please go and look at them and make that thing really adapting to yourself. So this is all I have. I think I have one more slide. This is the only thing which is that let's not let our sustainability efforts to remain on paper. Let's do some action, and let's also think what we are going to leave for the next generation. One of the things which I can tell are past generations were not even knowing what mistakes they are doing. Our future generation will not even know what they can do now. It is all of us who have some control where we can take some action now and make things happen. I only want to add with that note from Marshall Goldsmith, if we just continue doing what we are doing, we will keep on being what we have been, not becoming what we could have become. So that's the last slide from my side. I just want to thank each one of you for listening. I also want to announce that I just met Mr. Sam from Farkuddin Holding. He's right here, and he's shown keen interest to work with us on similar lines and patterns for the simple reason that it's not about the digitalization, it's not about selling another reporting tool or another carbon calculating solution. It's about how do you create decarbonization journeys within your small way and make it reportable. Let people learn from your journeys and learn from your successes. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.